This is a good one.
Let's see what these are.
We know that Seattle sent 12,000.
Oh my God, there were so many Seattle boxes.
New York sent over 1,000. Sacramento sent over 1,000.
I brought 1,000. I think LA sent about 500.
Yeah. 150 boxes from all over the country. Origami USA jumped in on this. Like,
Oh, really?
Yeah, the Origami Therapy Association of New York.
I'm looking at these beautiful cranes and I feel like these are wings of hope on these cranes, a message that the children and the families will get, that there are people on the outside who care, people like Japanese Americans who understand what mass incarceration could mean, and that we're fighting for their release and freedom.
It's the family detention center. It's the largest detention center in the United States. So I think that this effort really brings the moral voice of people who have impacted this and know what the long-term impact of being incarcerated in these family facilities is.
The family was stripped of our human rights, civil rights. We were never charged with a crime. We were in prison without due process. We don't want this to happen again.
We respectfully acknowledge the presence of Amida Tathagata entering this gathering place as we present these cranes of peace.
Undocumented issues, not only Latinx issues or black issues, it's also Asian American issues. There's more than 1 million undocumented Asian Americans live in this country without having proper, I would say, right. So always they're living in fear of deportation.
Thank you for standing in solidarity with our community and joining our voices to push back and say no more concentration camps, no more separating of families, and stop repeating history. Thank you.
I am a quahu, hey, 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 yo, hey, hey, yo, hey, yo, hey, yo, hey, yo.
We're here as representatives of a national Japanese American community who are outraged. We're absolutely outraged that this is happening again, that human beings could be treated this way. So we came here not only to pay homage to our ancestors and even some of the survivors in this room who were incarcerated here in Texas at Crystal City, but we brought cranes. Maybe you can help me bring these out. So we asked our community to fold cranes to bring to Texas, because in our culture, the crane is a symbol of unity and peace and nonviolence. And when you fold 1,000 cranes, it says that heaven grants you a wish for health and prosperity and wellness. These were folded in cities and towns everywhere.
My name is Gene Wu. I'm a state rep out of Houston. I'm only the 5th Asian American in the state's history So when I first ran for office, one of my big supporters was a man named Glenn Gondo. Glenn, I'm a Democrat, and Glenn's a Republican. You know, I was kind of like concerned, like, you know, it's like, hey, why are you supporting me? You know, because I know you're a Republican, and you know, and he tells me the story of, you know, when his family went through the internment camps, and he told me, I don't ever want to be. I don't ever want to be unable to speak, to have someone come and say, this is wrong. Sorry. And that's why I really want to say something to all of y'all, because I know you guys are from California, from New York, from all over the place. You didn't have to be here. But it means a lot to me that you're here, because it's when nobody speaks. It's when we can take the people with no voice. It's when we take the people who can easily be stepped on, and nobody will say anything or raise their hand. That's when democracy dies. That's when our liberty dies. And thank you for being here, fighting for people who have no voice. Thank you for being here to fight for not just people in our own community, but other places that need your help and need someone to speak out for them. And I'm sorry, I'm just a mess right now.
No ban, no walls, no camps, no ban, no walls, no camps, no ban, no walls, no camps, no.
This is Democracy Now! I'm Amy Goodman as we turn to a dramatic scene that unfolded Saturday when 5 Japanese-American elders, survivors of the U.S. internment camps, engaged in civil disobedience outside the Fort Sill Army Post in Oklahoma, where the Trump administration plans to indefinitely detain 1,400 immigrant and refugee children starting next month.
We're here today to protest the repetition of history. We were in American concentration camps. We were held under indefinite detention. We were without due process of law. We were charged without any evidence of being a threat to national security. We hear these exact words today regarding innocent people seeking asylum in this country.
Yes, 77 years has passed. The people look a little different than us, okay? But the fact remains, it's the same shit as before.
You're not allowed to protest on Fort Sill. You can go across the street, and that needs to happen right now.
Otherwise, what will happen?
I don't know. No, I'm not going to arrest you, but you need to move now.
Then we're not going to move.
Yes, you're going to move.
If you're not going to arrest us, we're not going to move.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Yes, I spent 3.5 years at Post in Arizona, an American concentration camp during World War II. The family separation policy, which is ruining the lives of these children, we the people have to stand up and protest this.
As a 4-year-old,
it's English. Get out.
Go ahead.
And so what we did with here is I had to have this to get out of Mitadoka.
Look, I understand your issues, okay? But you cannot protest on Fort Sill.
We've been removed too many times. We're not leaving.
Even though there is a law within the United States government that says you may not demonstrate in front of a military base if they ask you to leave, that we answer to a higher law. And that's the law of protecting children.
Fort Sill had 90 Buddhist priests as part of the 700 who were incarcerated there. And to honor them, I wanted to participate in today's rally.
Fort Sill is an American concentration camp. Geronimo imprisoned here in 1894 with 341 other Apaches until his death in 1909.
We've been migrating for thousands of years as a people, and the border is not like we're crossing the border, but the border already crossed us.
This is about survival. And we are not supposed to be asking and seeking survival in a country that says we are a melting pot. If something needs to be melted, we need to melt the ice.
To say, this must stop now!
Immigrants are welcome here, no hate, no fear. Immigrants are welcome here, no hate, no fear. Immigrants are welcome here, no hate.
We're here because back in 1942, 700 Japanese immigrants were held. They were community leaders, separated from their family. Among them, there were 90 Buddhist priests arrested right after Pearl Harbor because they were thought to be a threat to national security. Who can belong? Who's included? Who's excluded? These are struggles that are interlinked between what happened to Japanese Americans during World War II and what is happening today. And we remember these people because usually their names are forgotten. And so we recite them today in our prayer.
Chief White Bear, Kiowa, Geronimo, Apache Chief, Woman's Heart, Kiowa Chief.
I am a grandson of Mexican immigrants that crossed the borders long before visas and green cards. And like every immigrant, they came to this country seeking a better life for themselves and for their children and for their grandchildren. Today we honor those Japanese internees that died here at the hands of our government in 1942, and to the 10 children whose lives were cut short while in custody of the U.S. Border Patrols.
Yobutsumugechi, Sudatsumifucho.